Now, we live in what's often referred to as the age of technology, but we also live in the age of terror. And it seems that those two worlds are now starting to merge into one. Analysts say one of the suspects in the Boston bombings may have used the internet to turn himself into a radical. Well, let's explore that issue now with tech analyst Brendan Ambrose. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, when it comes to indoctrination, how powerful is the internet really? Can someone be radicalized without any physical human interaction?
Well, that seems to be the case with the Boston bombers. There's quite a bit of talk about them referring to a website called eNCA, which is an Al-Qaeda-linked radical Islamist website. And it has been found that there are no physical ties to any radical Islamist group. So in a recent briefing, Senator Richard Burr mentioned that there's no doubt that they were heavily influenced by the internet, and that they cannot find at this moment any real ties to a physical terrorist organization. So yes, it's entirely possible now because of the very nature of the internet, as it's used for good with communications with such as emails, WhatsApps, BBMs. It really does speed up and make communication very easy and very succinct. It can be used for bad. So we have these websites which promote all these radicalist views, and they can be easily accessed, and people that have got those intentions or those views innately in them, it's much easier for them to access it. They don't have to seek out a leader or a person to guide them. They can find that person who's either situated in another country or group of people in another country and go and join that community online, which is quite a scary concept, but it's all that the internet's really done is speed up the process of this happening. If they had the intention, they would probably find another way to do it.
It's just made it easier. You touched on this, Inspire. We know that it's also in hard copy, Inspire magazine. They went on the website as well. It's got very disturbing content, such as how to build a bomb in your mom's kitchen. And this is just one of the aspects that the alleged man who was not found guilty yet, but involved in the Boston bombings, it's believed he went into such a site to take a look at how to build a bomb in your mom's kitchen. I want to speak about the content now. Security officials in South Africa or anywhere else in the world, how do they go about trying to monitor such content without going into censorship?
See, it's a very, very tough issue, that, because we do have a freedom of speech and we do have a free press, and part of that is having a free internet, and that comes with good and bad. The bad is that this sort of information can be posted there. However, I do believe that there are other legal remedies to get that taken down, and it's very hard in South Africa to censor websites or censor any content, because it does hark of the apartheid era censorships, which generally any form of legislator will shy away from. So it's a very, very tough situation. I think it's a deep societal issue why people are looking at this, and I think it speaks to the current economic times of the world. Times are tough. People aren't happy. They are searching for an outlet, and unfortunately, people are angry, and they're looking for an outlet for their anger, and they will find this. Censoring it is very difficult without the scope creep of censoring other content, or the desire for censoring more, especially in a country like South Africa. America, to a lesser extent, and you spoke earlier, again back to South Africa, about the Protection of Information Bill. And that, I believe, is a very necessary addition, because our legislation is quite old in South Africa when it comes to media freedoms and when it comes to access to information. And this bill, I believe, has, with its good and its bad, has evolved to meet the current times. And I think it will address some issues. However, it is a very, very sensitive topic, and it's a very tricky topic.
Is it something else, just one more thing that parents need to be worried about when their kids go surfing the net or going on the web? Is it another thing that we should be focusing on to say, you know what, add that to the list? It's no longer just pornography that we should be protecting our children from when they go on the internet. It's now also potential terrorism websites.
See, I think it's teach the basics, and the rest will follow. That if you have an open family, it's more of a question for a family psychologist, but I think if you have an open family and you have a system whereby your child's computer is not monitored, because I'm not a big fan of that, but whereby it's an open dialogue with your kids. I genuinely don't think you'll have that issue to begin with. So yes, there's all sorts of bad on the internet, and I think it must be spoken about, but on the same token, there's tons of good as well.
Oh, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for letting me pick your brain on this particular issue. Cool. That was Brendan Ambrose from Strategy Works.
News that moves. eNCA.com.